5 years. It's been 5 years. Doesn't feel like 5 years. 5 years ago, I left my golden civil service state job to commit full time to living in this rig, traveling, doing portraits for families in homeless shelters for free. And I did as I just wasn't willing to wait until everything was perfectly lined up and safe and everything was accounted for, and to mitigate all the possibilities of what could go wrong. And boy, if I just had another year, another 2 years of savings, then it would be less risky. It'd be maybe less challenging. Probably true. Well, yeah, of course it's true. You know, anytime you can mitigate risk, reduce the risk, it can be a little less stressful. But that makes the assumption you got the time to do it and the health to do whatever it is you want to do. It's a tough thing. When you get into your 50s, 60s, and you're trying to decide, okay, most people, are not willing to live like I do, which is the only reason I can afford to do what I've done. But I'll tell you, yeah, it's been challenging. It's really challenging. It's ongoing challenging. Living like this is not easy, especially if you choose to do it in a vintage vehicle. But, I can't imagine doing it any other way, because this truck has opened so many doors that would not have opened with a modern vehicle, just without question. Right down to things like where I was broken down this week, and the appeal of the truck is what's introduced me to neighbors where I park there, and they get to know me, and one even offers me to use their little K-truck to run errands and get the parts I need. I mean, it's unheard of for a vehicle liveaboard. People don't offer that sort of thing, and that's part of the miracle of being in a vintage, really special vehicle. And I also believe it's part of the miracle of the energy that surrounds me because of the gifting I do. I was raised in a very fundamental Christian family, and one of the things that was always thrown about is you can't outgive God. And of course, it was all to encourage you to be tithing faithfully and gifting, of your resources to the church and to the outreach and such. And I'm not in that mindset anymore as far as religion and such. I don't abide by any particular religion. But it is absolutely true, as a universal truth, I believe that when you are giving of yourself to a true purpose, resources will come to you that you didn't see or even think were possible. When you take a leap and you're willing to risk, like your, stability one way or another, you find out so much more about yourself that there's no way you're going to find walking a safe line. I'm not encouraging people to do stupid shit. Everybody has their own risk tolerance. Everybody has their own life journey that's going to dictate, or create the opportunities to decide which path they're going to take. We do this all the time. And I would strongly encourage you, as always, to really take a good look at your big decisions and take a big look at them without the mindset or the presumption that you have 20, 30 more years to go. So, in 5 years, I have had so many challenges that I couldn't have seen coming. And I've had so many miracles and things evolve as a result of those challenges that have helped me grow in my capability, in my empathy, in my awareness of life and the people around me. I don't even know who I would be right now if I hadn't done this. Well, I kind of do. I mean, I had done a lot of personal work in the years after my separation from my wife, and while I was still working, I was growing and evolving. But as I grew and evolved, I also saw how, okay, this life I had charted for myself is the old me, and the new me can't live this way. And so as I realized that deeper and deeper, I committed to finding a different path that resonates with what is in my heart to do with my life. And I'll admit, being in my 50s made it easier to say, yeah, I need to make this big shift, because the reality was, I wasn't at the beginning of my career. I was at the tail end of my career, and I just couldn't see spending the last of my youthful energy just pounding away at the state job, working at the university. And it's not that wasn't worthwhile work. It was, and I believe in higher education, and I loved the people I worked with. But it wasn't serving my heart. It wasn't what was deep in my heart as far as a purpose. And so, I just started doing whatever it took. I took little steps every day toward getting free and getting out to do this. And now, this is not to say this hasn't cost me dearly. This has been a terrible decision as far as my retirement financial picture is concerned. I still don't know how that'll all work out. Have a tiny state pension, have some Social Security. I keep Jackdaw going, so hopefully that'll help, because I can do this until I croak. As long as I'm physically capable, I'll be doing portraits for families and shelters. So one way or another, I know I'll survive. If there's one thing I've learned living in the vehicle and traveling, it's that you don't need much to survive if you're healthy, and as long as you've taken good care of yourself. I'll grant you that. I meet people who are living in derelict vehicles, not by choice, they have health issues, totally different deal. And don't even get me started on a difference between my life and the life of a homeless person who's living in a vehicle or tents or nothing on the street. There's no comparison. I have what I need, and I have resources they don't. So, but I know a lot of these folks. Obviously, I interact with them, and you really do gain some empathy for their situation when you hear their stories, Anyway, the whole point being that challenge is life. If you're living a life that has no challenges, presents you with no difficulties, you're going to be bored. You're going to be dulled down. Challenges give us big opportunities to grow, to learn, to expand, and they open our eyes to what we're capable of. If you don't push your bounds in whatever your arena is, if you don't take shots at things that fail, you can't grow. You just can't grow without failure. You've got to be challenging yourself. You've got to be going for it on whatever your passion is, whatever your purpose is. Just keep pounding away at it and learn from each mistake, learn from each victory. Keep growing and evolving, It's been wonderful. As hard as it's been, the 5 years I've been doing this, I wouldn't trade any of it. All kinds of stuff has happened that was completely unforeseen, and I was able to get through it largely because of some of the changes I'd made. If I had been stuck, where I was and had not freed myself, would have been a lot harder to deal with some of the big things that came along, So for me, this lifestyle is ideal. I am so far from being interested in stopping, I can't even see it on the horizon. I can't imagine that I won't be making a 10-year video and a 15-year video. Things could change. I know my perspective can shift. I've had a hell of a summer with working on this truck, with things breaking and failing, and I'll tell you, I'm tired of wrenching on it. I was today. I'm still a little gritty. I was under a truck for 4 hours today, getting everything repaired, from getting my drive shafts rebuilt and retrued, and checking everything, greasing everything, tightening everything, repairing plumbing in my transfer case cooling system. I've done radiator. Replace the radiator. I've had to replace my rear third member. Y'all know about that. Have my heater core. I had to take that out. It started leaking. That's getting rebuilt. I've had more problems with this truck. I've done more wrenching on this truck this summer since, the only thing close to it was like summer 2017. just getting it running. So it's I'm tired of working on it, but I have to admit, it still puts a smile on my face when I walk up to this rig. And I know plenty of people with more modern rigs. They're paying hell of a lot of money to get them repaired, or they're working on them themselves. And it's just a big freaking appliance. I'll take this old girl any day over that. But enough of that, all that preaching, sharing my philosophy. Something really foundational that I've learned through all this is that I can't do it alone. This has been, as independent as I am, as capable as I am of taking care of myself, I would have gone flat by now, financially and in other ways, if it weren't for the patrons and people who help support me, and the miraculous people have popped up at just the right time to help me, reached out and helped me in different ways. It's very humbling, and it's been really good for me to have to ask for help and to have to learn to accept help, because I couldn't do that in my previous life. I never felt worthy. I had way too many shame issues. And now I've learned to accept help, and it's made me such a more gracious giver, too. I can't imagine my life not having done this. And I can't thank all the people in my life who have reached out and have helped support this work, who've helped support me, be it just spiritually, emotionally, encouraging me, financially. All of you keep me going in serious ways, you know. I can't even tell you. I don't think I could have made it without all of you. I know I couldn't have. No man is an island, and as independent as I am, I need all the people in my life and all the, the supporters that help keep me going. Y'all, you're amazing. And it's amazing in terms of the patrons and the financial supporters. I remember when I was first sharing what I was going to do to some pretty wealthy friends in the overlanding community also. They're all like, oh yeah, man, within a year you're going to be at full support. People are coming out of the woodwork. This is an awesome cause. They're going to do it. And it was always pretty wealthy people that were saying this to me. And amazingly, none of them showed up financially. People who do have been people I've done portraits for. There's a couple who've become patrons. I can tell you, that's a moving thing. And regular folks who find out what I'm doing that become patrons. And I love that. That means so much to me. I mean, I even have very wealthy family, and none of them are patrons. My daughter and my sister are my only patrons, and my former brother-in-law and his son. They're the only family that are patrons. None of them are wealthy and kicking ass, So it's been interesting. The support and the people who support this are so precious and so special, and they know the value of what we're gifting these families. And I can't say enough about them. You guys all rock. You're amazing. And I'm doing portraits tomorrow for a shelter. I'm doing portraits on Sunday for a shelter. We're coming up on 600 families that we've done portraits for since I started this. And that's no small number. That's pretty significant. That's 600 families that we've created legacy for. And it means more than you can know. It really does. So anyway, I'm going strong. I'm going to keep going. I got no end in sight right now. I'll have real retirement funds starting to happen in about 7 years, 5 years, and I just got to make it to that. I think I've got enough retirement savings to get there, especially with the help of my patrons. More help is always great, but I'm not worried about it anymore. I've learned that some comes, some goes, and I just keep rolling. I keep doing what I'm supposed to do, and the way keeps presenting itself. And it's unbelievable how that happens. It really restores your faith in positive energy and manifesting. I've got a master's class in gratitude and manifesting, let me tell you. But anyway, I just wanted to close by saying thank you. Thank you to everybody who follows me. Thank you to everybody who supports me spiritually, financially. Everybody who, takes the time to watch these videos and get a hold of me and talk to me and such. You all are wonderful, and I'm so grateful you're sharing this journey with me. And I'm going to keep it going. We got a long way to go yet.